this. Okay, today we're back with a collection of little office books. So I have been through, first of all, the first video, I went through these ones. So those ones are sort of done, but they're also sort of a reference. Especially these two, the more modern ones, which are nicely, professionally reprinted with new typesetting. Okay, so these are kind of a bit of a benchmark. I'll still be referring back to these ones. Then in my second video, I introduced these two books. My own reprint, which is a facsimile edition of the book that inspired this black one. So this is the Benziger 1915 one. It has been abridged. This one includes The Office of the Dead, and the Benziger one used to include The Office of the Dead. So I have made a reprint including The Office of the Dead. Now, see, it's a little bit longer, but if you want to have The Office of the Dead as in the original Benziger Brothers 1915 one, it is in here now, Office of the Dead. And, oh, that reminds me, it also has lots of commemorations in the back too. So if you want to get all those special commemorations for different religious orders, this is the book for you. Okay, so they're my reprints, and no, not that one. This is the other one that is new since the last video, by Karl Keller. Karl Keller has done a typed out reprint. It's a large book. It's even larger than this one. It is in Latin and English, with the Latin on the right and the English on the left, which I think is the same order as the Baronius. Yes, putting the Latin on the right and the English on the left, which I've understood you're supposed to put the Latin on the left and the English on the right, according to traditional stuff, but it's a minor point. So this book is totally different. It has no contents page. It's sort of not that professionally... anyway, yes, you've got the wide page block, where it's, with a large block of text, it makes it hard to read because you have to judge visually how to get back to the beginning of the next line. Also, it's saying Compline instead of Compline. So that's probably just a different English conventions. Okay, so the really cool thing about this book is that it gives out the whole office from go to go with minimal flipping around or checking other sections of the book. So it's divided into time before Advent, starts through Matins, goes through to Compline. There's time before Advent, Compline. There's a Compline. And then the next section is Advent. So it shows all the hours, even the little hours, written out in full with all the Psalms. So the Baronius Press kind of tries to do this one, except for Advent and Christmas, the little hours, it takes a shortcut. And for the little hours, it just gives the antiphon, which is special for, this one is Office 3 for this for Christmas, and then the changes for the little chapters. So you have to flip back to the main section for the Psalms with the beautiful little blue books. But with this one, it's all in place. So it's a really handy thing. I've given this to someone to follow along, so I didn't have to explain where to flip. The English is pretty traditional. I'm pretty sure it's Douay Rheims version. And what else? It's got these cute little, what's it called? Black letter writing for the ANT, standing for antiphon. So it doesn't have any music. It does occasionally have these beautiful pictures, though some of them are a little bit pixelated. Oh, there's a nice St. Joseph at the back. That's where I thought it's... can you see that in the video, that it's a bit pixelated, but it's a beautiful picture. And Lady of Guadalupe, it's quite... Anyway, yes, just black and white. I think he has colour editions. You can see he has a few different options on his webpage. But I did find a few typos when I was looking through it. I didn't go through it exhaustively, but I started making... especially with the Latin. It's really easy to get typos in the Latin because not very many people speak Latin. Also, another thing is the font changes. On the left you can see here's a Times New Roman sort of font. On the right, we've got a more modern, almost sans serif sort of font. I'm not sure if you'd like to go through and identify all the different fonts, but just inconsistencies here and there. This one's in italics, and is that because it's a hymn, or... Hey, I've sort of got issues with the quality of the production values, I guess. But overall, it's a handy book, and if you want it really easy, beginning to end, written out all the little offices, then that can be handy. Which version it does? It does, I think, the 1915 style version. Let's have a look. One of the differences with the 1915 redivision was that they took out some of the psalms for the towards the end of Lauds. So here we just have Laudate Dominum, just the one psalm there, Psalm 158. So that's Benedicta 2 is the antiphon. No, sorry, Pulchra S is the antiphon, and it's just got Psalm 148, and that's it. So I think it's a 1915 edition. It actually doesn't have a great deal of information in the beginning. It just says Little Office of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Latin English version, paperback, formatted by Karl Keller, and the ISBN. It has some rubrics, some basic things on what to say when. It doesn't give the postures when to sit, stand, and kneel. You can say it as you wish. Really, there's some in the in another book. It sort of bemoans the fact that some people sit all the way through it, where it doesn't really put you further out if you would stand or kneel, and standing or kneeling would be a more reverent posture. So you can pray it as for the divine office. Anyway, it doesn't tell you in this book. This is about the books rather than the little office. I should do a separate video on everything. Okay, so here's one of the Viderant eam filiacion. The most books have et beatissimam predicaverent et regina laudaverent eam. Oh, you can see here it doesn't have any accent marks. I think there are elsewhere things where it does. There's accent marks, so it's inconsistent. Can you see atrius tuis Jerusalem and participatio eos in idipsum? So sometimes it has the accent marks, sometimes it doesn't. Some of these he might have cut and pasted from the Bible, and sometimes the change in the Latin Vulgate, the wording is slightly different, so you can't just cut and paste it from the Bible if you want to be consistent with the other copies of the Little Office. But it's not a bad book. I mean, yeah, it's not perfect, but yeah, it's a Little Office. It doesn't have any ecclesiastical approbation as far as I can see, but it does have lots of Latin and English prayers. There you go. So that is another option. Now, I guess there's not much to say about my one, except it is the full. Yeah, with the previous reprint I did, I cut it off at page 257. So after 257, then we have the Office of the Dead, which has just Vespers, Matins and Lauds. Matins and Lauds, as it is an ancient thing. Oh, it also has the burial service. I didn't notice that before. So it might be handy. I took, actually to the Cardinal Pell funeral, I actually took the Angelus Press one as it's smaller. And I don't know if that has the burial service in the back. It doesn't have all the commemorations. Yeah, I don't think it has the burial service. It just has a Little Office of the Dead. Okay, I mean, it's not a little office, but yes, it's an ancient form. It's before they put in the minor hours. So that's why there's only Vespers, Matins and Lauds. Anyway, the Commemorations is handy if you're in a different religious order, or if you just want to commemorate St. Joseph or St. Augustine, or, oh, there's more St. Augustine, Benedict, Francis Seraphicus. So Francis of Assisi has a couple of different ones, depending on which sort of St. Francis order you're in, I think. Hey, so there's sort of good stuff in there. It doesn't have an index, as far as I remember. No, it's just the last of the Commemorations. So that's the Little Office, and I haven't made it a hardback yet, but I found out that I could make it a hardback. So if you'd like a hardback of that, let me know. I did have a request for a hardback of the shorter one, so you can see the difference there. It's a very similar book. I think they must print it fairly similarly, and then they glue the hardback around it. It looks like it's fairly firmly stuck in. You can see can you see the bump there? It shows there's some sort of reinforcing to glue it all in place. And it's just the same as the other book. One of the things I like about it is that I don't have my name on the front. See, I was trying to get it approved for global distribution and trying to figure out why the book wasn't going through. So I put my name on the front to better reflect the information about it. But yeah, it looks like it probably didn't need to be there. Anyway, so on the paperback it's stuck there, but you can get the paperback through all different sorts of bookshops. The hardback is only available through either Lulu or shop.ubil.us, my website. So you can get a hardback copy of Little Office. Someone also asked for a nice plain blue version, so I've made a plain blue version of the hardback cover. And if there is a special cover you want, that is something I can do for you, is to make a special edition just for you with your choice of cover. So you could have your photo on it, or just say that you don't want any illuminated manuscripts, you just want a plain blue. This one I've made plain blue. Maybe I'll make this one plain black. That's a great idea, actually. So I'll try to make a matching one for this one with a black cover. But of course, as of making this video, I haven't made the hardback of the full thing yet, just the hardback of the little one. Okay, so these are all options. Okay, I think that's all I have to say today. Have I talked about the difference between 1962? One of the main differences that stuck out to me was back in 1915, you had a Kyrie eleison extra in there that, here we go, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison. So it's still in the monastic office, and in the Liber Usualis, some of the older Liber Usualis, you still come across this. Let's just sing this one so I can't quite think of the tune for the Kyrie eleison, but if I sing the bit before it, maybe I'll get it. Beata Mater et intacta Virgo Maria, gloriosa Regina Mundi, intercede pro nobis ad Dominum. Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, Domine exaudi rationem meam, exclamo meus at te veniat. So there's a really little thing. I'm not sure why they took it out. I guess it's part of the making things easier for everyone, because life is so difficult now, isn't it? Yep. So anyway, so if you want to have the Kyrie eleisons, you need the older books. These are the newer books, and everything else is an older book. Actually, I think the Breviarium is probably a newer book too. So these don't have so many Kyries. Can you see all those? Yeah. Okay, so those, and all the rest have all the Kyries. So these ones also don't have the extra psalm for louds. So you find louds in the book. There we go. So there's a Canticum Trium in the last psalm. There we go. Psalmus CXL VIII. So Psalm 148, and then it says the glory be to the Father is not said here. This is the end of 148. It goes straight into Psalmus 149, Cantate Domino, Canticum Novum, and it even does Psalm 150. There you go. Yeah, before it finally gets back to the antiphon at the end. So the last, it's got 3 psalms for the last Psalm of Louds, whereas the 1915 Pius X said to simplify it, just have 1 psalm there, which makes sense. Yeah, I'm easy either way. So there you go. So that's most of the differences. So if you want extra psalms, use this little tiny one, or the Bonaventure one also has the extra psalms. Shall we see if Christopher Kent has the extra psalms? There you go. So look at Louds. So is it called Pulchra Pulchra S, there we go. It starts with Psalm 148. It continues Psalm 149. So this one also has the extra psalms. So it's winning with Bonaventure Press and the Irish one. They have the extra psalms. So these are the oldest ones. Oldest, middle is these ones, and then the new ones there. So there you go, we've sorted it out. So I hope that helps you choose which little office book you would like to own, to refer to as you're singing. As always, the only one with the music is the only one with the music. Baronius, sorry, I couldn't, total mind blank. Okay, the one with the music is the Baronius Press. It has all the antiphons and some of the common tones, but it doesn't point the psalms for you, and it doesn't have accent marks in the Latin. So it is a huge help having all the music, but just a little bit of a drawback there that makes it not quite perfect. So if you get this one, that's great. If you get another one, you'll probably have an easier time chanting the psalms, because you'll probably have the asterisks and the accent marks, depending. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Let me know if you have any more questions. I can always do another video, and God bless you. Oi.